going on, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to use a bait caster. So you ever walk into, a Bass Pro, Walmart, Dick's Sporting Goods, and you look at the reels and you're wondering, what reel should I buy? Should I buy the spinning reel, the spin cast, or a bait caster? Now there are three reels. The spin cast, the button press, is the easiest one to use. The spinning reel is the second easiest to use, and a bait caster is the third one, which is the hardest to use. Now, most people when they're starting out fishing will buy a spinning reel because it's easy to line and it doesn't exactly bird's nest as much. Well, a bait caster is different. I got my first one I got it about a year ago, and the first time I casted it, the line just blew up in it because I didn't know what I was doing because I didn't use it properly. So I'm gonna make sure that you guys don't do that. Let's try and prevent that, and I'm gonna show you how to cast a bait caster properly. So when it comes to a bait caster, the ones I have here, this is a Lose MP tournament, and this is a Corrado Dc. Now I went over this in the other videos before about each reel, so make sure you go take a look at those. I go into further detail about each one of these. But we're gonna start off with this one right here. This reel does not have a chip in it, which means there is no help when it comes to casting. Now what does that mean? That means when you cast it, you have to put your thumb on it so the line doesn't go everywhere. That's the one thing that anglers don't do right, and that is why they bird's nest. Now this one has 50-pound braid on it because it's top water, so it doesn't exactly do it that easily, but you still need to watch it after the fact. This one right here is a Corrado Dc. This market's at about $250, and when you pay that extra, you get a chip. Now I had another video where I opened this up and you could actually see where it was, so make sure you guys go check that out. But with this one's got 15-pound fluoro carbon on it, and you don't have to thumb it to have a bird's nest. You could just cast it and you're good to go. That's the benefit you get with spending the extra money. But most people are going to stick to this one because it's cheaper and you save a lot of money with this. So I'm going to show you how to use this one first, and then I'll show you the benefits of using this one. All right, guys, I have the reel with me, the Tournament MP from Lose. I'm going to show you a couple of the dials here that's on a bait caster. So first off, the tension dial, which is this one right here. If I tighten this all the way up, I'm going to put the bait all the way at the tip of the rod, it's not going to move. Now, if I loosen it all the way, like this, watch the bait, it's just going to drop. Just drops like that. So you're going to question yourself, like, where do I want to put it? So what I like to do is I like to set it like this to where it doesn't drop, and then loosen it to when it does start to drop. That's personally where I like it, but you guys can mess around with this and you can figure out where you like it for yourself. The second knob, this is your brakes. Now I know the numbers are missing, they do tend to fade on these reels, but I have mine set to minimum just because I'm on braid. Now if you're on fluorocarbon, you're gonna want to set this to maybe like 3 or 4, which is like somewhere in this area. This is gonna help you to not bird's nest your reel. So this is an important step to take. Now you're gonna have to screw with this as you cast, because you're gonna figure it out where it doesn't bird's nest and when it does. This is your drag knob, this knob right here. Now what you're gonna want to set this is, you're gonna want to make sure this is very tight. You're gonna want to pull the line and just make sure you can kind of barely pull it out. That's when you know it's right for bass fishing. On to how to cast with a bait caster. So first things first, you're going to want to put your bait about 1.5 feet away from the tip of your rod. Secondly, you're going to want to open the bail on it, and then you're going to cast normally like you would cast a spinning reel. The same thing, but what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hold your thumb very lightly next to the line so it doesn't bird's nest. So I'm going to demonstrate for you right here, and hold your thumb just gently like that. See how it did in bird's nest? Now, I'm going to show you an example of what happens when you don't do that. It will bird's nest. Now, braid is not going to be as bad because it's braid, it's not fluorocarbon. It doesn't tend to spaz out as much. So here's what happens when you don't. You can start this on that cast. You could see that the line tried to come out, but it didn't. Braid is kind of hard as an example to do this on because it's braid. So I'm gonna try again and see if I can get it. See if I can cast it a little bit higher. There, see? That's a little bit of an example. Now, if this was fluorocarbon, this would be everywhere in here and it'll be a pain to get out. So what you want to do if that happens is you're just going to want to pull the line out like this until you get it all out. And when you're done, hold tension on the line so it's not loose inside the reel. And then go ahead and reel back in. Now, if you get a knot in here and you can't pull it out, what you're going to want to do is reel up, then open the bail, and then give it a nice hard yank out. This works most of the time, but it doesn't work all the time. So you're going to want to experiment with your reel and line and see what works. Now, I'm going to go get the digital chip reel, and I'm going to show you what the difference is when you pay the extra money for a chip. Okay guys, this here is the Corrado Dc. This reel markets for about $220 compared to $150 on the other one. So benefits you're getting with this, you're getting a digital chip that helps with not bird's nesting. It can adapt to the wind and the water the way you cast. Now, here is the tension dial on this one. You want to do it the same way. Nothing changes there. The brakes on this one, you could set a little bit lower if you're not as experienced because the chip's going to do most of the work for you. So you could set these a little bit lower. Your drag is the same on this as well. So when casting this, you can keep your thumb on it if you want for extra protection, but you don't need to. But here, you can cast this a little bit further as well than the other one just because of the chip. But I kept my thumb on it and it did the same thing. So now, when you don't put your thumb on this one, it has a chance to do the same thing, but sometimes the chip fixes it. It's not going to be every time. So let's see when I cast it without my thumb this time. It bird's nest up like that. So just walk with it so you get it out and then reel back in. So you're paying extra for the chip because with fluorocarbon, if you put fluorocarbon on the loose reel and you just cast it regularly, you have to keep your thumb on it the entire time. The time you don't have to put your thumb on this is when the bait is in the air. That's when you don't have to keep your thumb on this because it won't bird's nest. But you do have to put your thumb on it when the bait hits the water because it will still bird's nest up, especially with fluorocarbon. Braid I'm not too sure with on this reel because I've never thrown it on there, but just when in doubt, keep your thumb on it because you don't want to have a problem with pulling out the line and stuff like that. Okay, now when you buy a bait caster, you want to make sure you buy the right rod. So you see here on this, the bait caster is facing towards you. If you bought a spinning reel, then the reel will be facing away, which means the guides would be on this side of the rod. So when buying a rod, you want to make sure the guides are on the same side as the reel, or where the reel seat is. Because if you don't do that, the whole combo is going to be messed up. So don't make that mistake. All right, guys, I hope you learned something new in this video today. If you did, hit the like and subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.